Good morning, friends. In last lecture, we have studied about material characterization techniques. In this, we have studied what is material characterization, why there is a necessity of material characterization, and what are the different techniques used for the material characterization. Also, what parameters we considered for the characterizing the material, such as we have seen, such as topography, elemental composition, bulk structure, and composition. Then we have studied about electron microscope and how electron microscope is advantageous to observe the structure up to the nanoscale. Then we have talked about scanning electron microscope. In this scanning electron microscope, we have studied what is the working principle of scanning electron microscope. In this electron gun, as a tungsten filament. Then there are some arrangement of some lenses like anode, magnetic lens, objective lens, and at the end, on the after striking the specimen, how the primary electron detector and secondary electron detector detects the electrons, and this image is processed, and we can observe that image on the computer display. Okay, also we have seen different components of SEM, such as source of electron, condenser lens, electromagnetic lens, electron detector, sample chamber, and computer display. Then we have talked about second type of electron microscope, that is transmission electron microscope. We have studied different means characteristic of TEM, what sample preparation is required for TEM analysis, and how we identify the structure, crystallization, and morphology of the material. Okay. Then we talk about the TEM working principle. This diagram explains very much about how the transmission electron microscope works. Then uh, let's in today's lecture we will talk about scanning tunneling microscope, that is STM. Okay, this microscope is used for imaging the surface at the atomic level, and this type of microscope, we can say it is SPM type, that is scanning probe microscope type of microscope. It consists of a stylus which is not in contact with the surface to be inspected, and unlike electron microscope, the medium of operation can be vacuum, air, high pressure, and in liquid, depending on the specimen sample and its surface condition. Okay, and also for scanning tunneling microscope, the materials requirement is it must be conductive and with fine surface structure. Uh, Talking about working principle of STM, there is a stylus whose tip diameter is about an atom's diameter from the sample, and when the electrons tunnel between the surface and the tip, it produces the electric signal in the form of current. Okay, and the distance between the stylus and the surface, it keeps between 3 to 10 angstrom units, and the generated current is measured and image is formed. There are two modes of scanning tunneling microscope. First mode, it is a constant height mode, and second one is the constant current mode. You can see in the diagram, two modes are given. First, your upper side, you can see the constant current mode, and at the lower side you can see constant height mode. As the name suggests, constant height mode, in this the height is kept constant and the variable parameter is nothing but current, and in constant current mode the current is kept constant and the variable parameter is height. So in both the conditions, if you take a consideration of constant height mode, the vertical position of the tip remains constant. As I said, the height is kept constant and the current varies depending on the distance between the tip and the local surface of the specimen. Now in this mode, the, the tunneling current is the function of height between the tip and the specimen surface, and depending on the distance between the tip and the surface, the magnitude of current is varying. The measuring tunneling current gives a topography image of the surface which is formed. In constant current mode, a STM uses a feedback loop such that the tunneling current is kept constant by adjusting the tip height. What does it mean? The height is continuously changing in order to keep the current signal constant and and maintain the distance between the surface and the stylus. This enables it to follow even a smallest detail on the surface it is scanning. Now topography image of the surface is formed by recording a vertical position of the tip. Scanning tunneling microscope have mainly five necessary components. These components are a metal tip, or we can say a scanning tip, then a piezoelectric scanner or control system is there, then there is a current amplifier, or we can say a control voltages for a piezoelectric scanner. Then there is one feedback system is also there for current. The piezoelectric scanner can be mounted with the tip or a sample stage, and actually you can observe the image in this. The tip of the probe is a single atom, and it is tip is generally made up of a tungsten. um, Generally some electrochemical etching is used to create such a type of scanning tip. Now STM use the feedback servo loop and converts the piezoelectricity to get the distance between the tip and the sample down to the couple of angstroms. There are few applications of STM. It is used for the measurement of surface roughness of high precision optical component and machine or ground surfaces. Also, it is used to study the electronic properties of different materials by measuring the current voltage um, uh, and tip or surface separation. Now, similar to scanning tunneling microscope, there was a extension of scanning tunneling microscope technique, which is uh, atomic force microscopy. It has a basic difference, such as unlike scanning tunneling microscope, where electrically conductive materials are generally used, for atomic force microscopy, generally we can investigate the electrically non-conductive materials also. So actually we can investigate variety of material surfaces. We can analyze them using AFM technique, such as metal, polymers, ceramics, composites, glass. These all these materials can be investigated or analyzed using AFM. Now, AFM, STM, it is also a type of scanning probe microscope. It is also having a very sharp tip to probe, and it also map the topography of the specimen surface. Generally, AFM is used to determine the material properties such as electric and magnetic forces, conductivity, resistance, and the friction properties of the surface. You can see the working principle of AFM, and there are some main components of AFM. You can observe this image. In this image, uh, it is a non-contact type stylus profilometer is there, uh, in which a sharp tip is mounted on a flexible cantilever beam. You can see here probe and tip is there. Okay. Now when the stylus tip it is brought in contact with the surface, the tip is either attracted or repelled by the surface. Now, this AFM technique detects this interaction, means either it detects attraction or repulsion forces by measuring the deflection of the this cantilever probe, and this deflection at the tip is detected by a laser focused at the on the top of the surface of the cantilever beam. The photodiode sensor is used to track this deflection. Now the signal is generated by the photodetector is used to generate a topographical map of the surface. Okay, so generally there are a few components of AFM. These are first is the feedback loop. It actually used to means control the z direction of the specimen position. Means what? The probe is continuously moving in the z direction as shown in the figure. So this feedback loop is used to control this z direction. Now piezoelectric scanner, it actually uh, used for the positioning of the specimen on the XYZ plane with some accuracy, and the accuracy is measured in Armstrong. And there is also a computer system is there to get the data or to perform the data acquisition, display and data analysis. The probe tip, it is a sharp probe tip which is attached at the end of the cantilever, and it is used to sense the surface properties and cause the cantilever to deflect. Okay, and there are also position sensitive photo detector which measures the deflection of the cantilever. So these are few components of atomic force microscopy techniques. Okay, and in exam many times they ask about the imaging methods of atomic force microscopy. In this imaging mode, just what we have studied in scanning tunneling microscope, there are two methods, that is constant height mode and constant force mode, constant height mode and constant current mode. So here also in atomic force microscopy there are some imaging mode of atomic force microscopy. These modes are generally contact imaging mode, non-contact imaging mode, and tapping mode. Okay, as the name suggests, contact imaging mode, it is the force of interaction. It is generally a repulsive force, we can say. Non-contact force is a attractive force, and the tapping mode, it is a strong repulsive mode. Okay, so these are some of the imaging mode. You can also see the image of contact mode and non-contact modes of AFM. Let's talk about contact imaging mode. In this, uh, the tip of the stylus is always in contact with the surface of the specimen, as you can observe. As the tip moves over the surface, the lever is moved up and down as per the surface topography. And there are also some repulsive forces are there, such as van der Waals forces are there. So this contact imaging mode is heavily influenced by the adhesive and frictional forces, and it can damage the samples and distort the image data. So generally contact mode consists of two imaging mode. First one is the contact force mode, and second one is a first one is the constant force mode, and second one is the constant height mode. Now what we have seen in STM, there is a constant height mode and constant current mode. Similarly here, the constant height mode, in this, the tip probe is maintained at a constant height above the sample, and force feedback is off as shown in the figure. If the tip sample spacing is changed, the attraction force changes, which changes the lever position as well. The vibration amplitude also gets affected by changing in lever resonance. Okay, now the constant height mode is used for recording the real time images of the changing surface where high scan speed is essential. So this is about constant height mode. Now in constant force mode, uh, to move the scanning member up or down, the cantilever deflection is used as a feedback to the circuit as shown. And when we keep the deflection in cantilever constant, it means the net force on the sample, it is also constant. Now this time the variable motion of the scanner will generate the image, and the feedback circuit response is also important factor in deciding the scanning speed. So this is about the constant contact imaging mode. Similarly, there are non-contact imaging mode is also there. As the name suggests, there is no contact between the stylus and the surface, and that means the tip is not touching the surface, and the sensitivity, then it is increased by oscillating cantilever near its resonant frequency. The AFM measures the changes to the resonance frequency and amplitude of cantilever beam, and it generally provides low resolution uh, because there is no contact on the with the surface, and image qualities also get hammered by contaminant layer that interferes with the oscillation. Last one is the tapping imaging mode. It is also called as intermittent constant mode or dynamic force mode. In this type of stylus, the intermittent touches the sample surface, Therefore, this mode is called as tapping mode. Now, actually, comparing both with the contact and non-contact, tapping mode provides higher resolution with minimum sample damage. Now, tapping mode is also a way to get higher resolution. In this, the damage of the sample is also minimum. So, actually, imaging mode, it is in between contact and non-contact imaging mode, where it gives higher resolution as well as there is no damage is done as it is done in contact mode.